You ready, Caleb?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Wednesday, November the 8th. It's a budget meeting at 1 p.m. Okay, take over, ma'am.
All right, if y'all want, I'll just go over the one side. I really made the difference from last month.
Okay.
General fund, I put the $1 million allocated to the addition of the other $1 million for the rec. We did, I think, go back to that thing. Yeah. So the ending balance is $4,293,582, and that's after the $2 million for Grand Lake Rec, and
So that's in there, just not showing up.
it's in there. Like, this is the balance after. That's in there.
So really the balance would be 6.
Yes.
Okay.
But we also put in gravity drainage for $100,000, and then y'all allocated $120,000 toward Cameron Bourne to finish their building for the hurricane. And then the only other one that really has a big difference would be the garbage for Shane's equipment. It was $630,000, so the remaining balance as of next year would be $8,551,158. We did put some equipment in courthouse and jail too for $1,897,999. That's the only thing
All right, I
changed.
got a question on that.
Okay.
At January 1st, 24, the balance is 7.5, and it's only 8.5 at the end. So what did they take in a year? Is 1.5 million?
Who?
This garbage.
Yeah, they're
That's a pretty good surplus for.
no, they get for garbage. Their taxes are estimated $4 million.
For me. Okay.
But they're sitting on 8.5.
Any more questions, Mr. Senator?
No more questions.
Lee, can I ask you more questions?
You can ask a couple more in this meeting.
Hey, how about the, mosquito control? Is that on here?
We don't do mosquito control.
Oh. They don't fly that thing. I done told Josh that a couple times. The mosquitoes bad, y'all play?
Who they work for?
Mosquito control?
Yeah.
They're their own entity.
They
Like,
bad.
I mean,
Who do they work for? Who does the
There's
Mr. Board work
people,
for?
he's being put out there.
Yeah.
Who points them? We do, right?
You can request for them to come to the meeting and report on.
Not next meeting.
January.
Next Sunday gonna be January. I can tolerate the mosquitoes for another month. I can tolerate another month.
Come to the next meeting as in.
I'm gonna call Josh and tell him, look, you need to put some damn mosquito spray out.
Mm-mm. All right, any more questions?
We have a
You left.
request,
Finish?
I'm saving it for next.
budget request when you are done with questions. Yeah.
Anybody got any budget requests?
Yes, sir, we sure did. Thank you for asking.
Better be short.
Table
Yeah,
that,
Marcia,
till January one.
Here? Okay, so, we've been doing the Marshall Street design, trying to reduce, tidal flooding. We got some more work to do, obviously, but we still wanna move forward with designing the pump, placement of the pump. We received about $250,000 worth of capital outlay grants, to pursue with this project, the design of it. So we're here to ask for your blessing to execute a contract with Lonnie Harper and Associates to finish final design of the Marshall Street pump. It's gonna be funded at 75% through capital outlay. We have to cover the 25%.
Can we do that at this meeting?
Sir?
Can we do that at this meeting?
Yes.
Yes, she wants.
Asking for permission to sign a requisition and a
How much money
proposal.
is that? How much money is that?
So it's gonna be,
Or about-
it's all based based
to
off of
build.
final design, so it could fluctuate. They're quoting us a 3.5% of construction costs. When we bid it, they'll charge us 3.5% to get it to final design. They have some surveying and some geotechnical evaluation. The surveying and geotech is, 50,000. The mechanical and electrical design, on $300,000 estimate, it's gonna be 15,900. And then, once they bid it out, depending on what the final design is, right now the estimate is $4 million. So if the bids come back $4 million, you're looking at $140,000.
Our money?
Why is it that we got away from getting proposals to do this kind of work and got back to doing these percentages?
We still do both. So we do a, request for qualifications with engineers on really large scale projects. This particular project, we gave Lonnie Harper and Associates the opportunity to quote it because they did all the preliminary, modeling and design work dating back to like 2016. So they have a lot of baseline data, historical data.
Good.
And
I think that's
so
right.
it just made sense to us as long as they were quoting us fair rates, and they did give us a discount. Typically, final design, they charge, what, 5 or 6%?
They only charge 5% for design, and they're only charging 3.5%. If we would go off of the AIA, rate sheets and scales, which most other architects do, it'd be closer to 7 or 8%. This is actually a better,
Very,
a pretty good deal.
yeah, very competitive.
I thought, Lonnie Glenn
Proposal.
closed the doors. I thought Lonnie Glenn was out of business.
No, he's.
They're still doing, finish out projects for key clients like us.
And I think that's fair. You know, they did all the legwork back in the day. I think we did.
And they're
Well,
giving
that's not
us,
the right thing to do.
Closing doors anytime soon, it's just really, he's taking select workers.
I don't know. Second.
Wait,
Uh,
for what, how much?
they're gonna accept the proposal with the 3.5%, 5.3% of mechanical. I'll send you the proposal.
Okay.
Got a motion by, Mr. Sonny and a second by Mr. Scott. All in favor?
No, this will be for, out of this budget, for immediately.
Oh.
This won't be for the next budget, but we still need a girl's permission because of the
So
amount.
how much is coming out of it then?
Huh.
250,000?
No, it's 140, yeah, 205.
Okay.
For approximately $205,000.
It's,
Funded 75% through our,
it's actually $206,700.
well,
But we're not gonna move forward
So
with
what,
this pump
what
until
are
we
we,
figure out where all
that's
this
what
work
I'm
is
trying to
coming
budget,
from,
what
right?
are we actually budgeting,
What's that?
205?
This is contingent upon stopping the water from coming in? So we can't put a pump and pump water to keep this
Well,
circulating, just flow.
isn't there one cover we still can't find that goes to the river, we're still trying to find?
go ahead,
We're
Gary.
working on, we've already talked with Window, last week about, trying to we're trying to isolate, we have water coming in under the burn at Marsh, Rec Street, and we already moved the flap gate up, but I believe we still have some inundation through that DOT, outfall drain. So what we're gonna do is try to isolate, make sure that we can stop what's coming in under the burn and, reduce it to just that. Either the pumps will take over from that point on, or, we'll have to come up with,
Isn't there another pipe or something? Thomas was saying something about maybe the drain further, it goes.
we've already taken care, we already found one extra pipe. The Monkey Island does not connect to, that outfall does not connect to
Okay.
Rec Street outfall, so we've already proved that. But there was an existing outfall on the east side of Rec Street that we've already, plugged and abandoned, at the end in case we ever need it again.
So we're not gonna be able to stop the water coming back 100%, we're gonna run and pump
If,
it out.
if we isolate what's coming in under the burn, I'm hoping that it's not inundating the piping, we move the flat gate. But I need to isolate one from the other, because I can't tell, as tide rises, they both fill up almost at the same time, and I can't tell which one's letting the water in. So, I think we've already slowed it down by moving the flat gate, so if we can isolate out, Rex Street from inundating and back flowing all the way back down to McCall docks.
Yes.
We may be able to reduce it where it doesn't, during high tide, it may still inundate a little bit, but hopefully by that time, tide's going back out, and it pulls the rest of it back out. We're trying to reduce it right now as much as possible until we can get the final design on it. And then they should be able to manage it from there. And once we get the system back together, it'll run and, push water all the way down to Davis Road, out into that marsh, and through those folks, once it's all tied together. So hopefully by that point, we'll never see it in Marshall. I can't say never. We won't see it in Marshall Street.
Right.
As a goal. We're trying to reduce the inundation.
Stop and reduce.
Yes, sir.
We were told we won't, we put the berm up, we still got water.
Coming in underneath the barn. There's a mud flat right there. When we P&A'd that pipe, it was coming in through the dirt, through the wall, right at the bottom of the
Y'all
pipe.
put clay? Y'all put clay?
Call Dunham Price and fill every one of those pipes up. They're shooting there too? Huh? They were shooting there too? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes,
any more budget requests?
yes. This is also a current year budget request, authority from you guys. So, Klondike drainage laterals, they also kind of call it Help Bayou. That's the drainage lateral that runs by Parish Road 717. It's like 3 miles long. We had in the past, had a staff member, Monty, he sprayed it regularly for them. That was no longer an option. They're seeing a lot of water back up, and so they're requesting our assistance in cleaning it. It's not something the parish can do. We don't have the assets to be able to do that. So it reached out to Marshland to see if they could go out and give us a quote. So he gave us a quote, and after talking to Monty, Kara, and Patrick, who's over Marshland, and then the representative from Klondike Lowry, which is Kelly Gwynn, he was the one that's really kind of been getting all the farmers together. They made some recommendations on what they'd like to see. With your approval, they would like a budget allocation to pay Marshland equipment to go clean the lateral as soon as they could get out there, all 3 miles. And the quote was, wrote it down on, left my papers in there, $117,000. Clean 3.2 miles, 2 feet deep, 12 feet wide. That's a
So,
lot. It's,
Our most big trackload can't get out.
Did we call anybody else for a quote? Or we just called that one guy?
we only called, Patrick. It's gonna require a marsh buggy type asset, so he's the
Yeah,
one.
but how,
Request a couple more.
what's the
12 foot wide, 2 foot deep, that ain't much.
Yeah, it's dredging 2 foot, and the
What's the- what's the-
bottom width of the lateral is 12 feet.
My question is, there gotta be other people that gotta get more machines that go in there and give us a price.
What's Frog going out?
Huh?
yeah, all Booyah with frog
Frog,
coat.
Booyah, and
380,000.
Tommy Todd.
Yeah, his quote was, $6.91 per foot
Who's,
for 416 feet a day, marshland equipment.
Yeah, you call Tommy Todd too.
I don't even know what that, or what it is, but I just know we need to get a couple more quotes, just to make sure we keep
Okay.
it in check.
So,
feet per day?
416 feet per day.
416 feet, you're gonna dig 2 foot of material out of
12 foot wide, that ain't but about 3
1.2 yards per foot. Which, hey, so
Don't sound right.
that's their daily rate. Now, we can get quotes, but I just was asking you guys, is this a budget something that you feel like we could allocate a budget to? We'll go out and get 3 quotes, except for the lowest quote.
So let's check a price on, do a price check here, because that's.
No, I'd like to see Patrick get to work, but it just don't sound. They
So-
dig in the marsh all the time, and they cover miles of mudboat ditches. I know it's not like digging a drain canal, but
You can dig a.
they can dig a long ways in a little bit of time.
Is it wet right now, or is it?
416
Dry.
feet
That's why
a
they wouldn't
day.
do it. But
So
it's
why
dry.
can't we get our machine out there?
The levee's too high and the ditch is too wide.
12 foot wide?
That levee's high, the levee on both sides.
With a long stick, 12 foot wide, 60 foot of reach, won't get across.
Get a call to go look, but I
Oh,
don't
good.
know.
But, I mean, we have to stay within the existing footprint of the lateral. If you start trying to track on other people's property, it's gonna get costly trying to get easements and right of ways, you know. This was the recommended solution to get in and out.
That big old marsh boat, you're gonna take up way more room, being on everybody's property, probably 20 foot wide.
So you're saying you
I don't have.
don't wanna clean Klondike Canal,
Got a question?
Huh?
or you just wanna get quotes?
I wanna clean it, but I want a better quote than that.
So, quotes?
He's not recommending.
So we get 3 quotes and accept the lowest quote,
Get 3 quotes.
and we have
They can
authority
be
to
a
issue a requisition to clean it? That,
Yeah, I believe in getting, at least getting another price.
yeah, well, we get 3 quotes, but I guess that's what, I'm asking for authority
Yes.
to fund the project. We'll
Oh,
go
yeah.
get it quoted out, we'll accept the lowest bid.
Need a motion, if you
and
gotta
move
go out, make a
forward.
motion, we fund it.
Okay, just say not to.
Motion by Mr.
Not
Scott.
to exceed
Hey, before
the,
we commit, how much was we talking about? What was it?
Well, y'all should be paying attention instead of laughing up
I
there.
was busy.
177,000.
Hey.
Hey, you better remember, he's coming back. I'm not gonna talk to us like that, but he's back.
How much was it again for how much we committing?
it's estimated one contractor's about 117,000, not including surveying. So if we can get a budget, the public works budget right now is $250,000. We could set a budget not to exceed 250. Of course, it would not exceed 250, but it could be 117,000 if he's the lowest bidder, and then we would have to pay an additional company just to do a little bit of surveying, like the states, to make sure we stay within.
I don't know if I wanna do a bid on it, I think I'd get 3 quotes, not a bid.
What's the total length of that ditch?
3.2 miles.
Are we required to get?
And to our knowledge, hasn't been cleaned or
It looks
anything.
bad
It's
on the
done.
road there.
I don't know if we can get 3 quotes. I think we're required to get bids. No?
No, you don't have to.
717, they got a
Oh,
bridge,
is that the one on the?
it's going towards,
It's
Like
like
on,
on the curve.
on east and west.
you go on the lakeside, they got a bridge, a new
Going
bridge,
east and west.
but we just gonna clean for the bridge going back to the pump, where they pump out.
Oh, you're not gonna clean the whole thing?
I seen it.
The other side for me,
Yeah, but sometimes for fair.
You get called down over there.
There's a fair bid law.
That ditch is bad.
that's for me,
Yeah.
So we had a motion, got a second.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Scott, second by Mr. Kirk, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion. Anything else?
Last one, this
Good
would
thing.
actually be a 2024 budget item. And 2024 budget item. Ken Badon is interested in selling his property. He owns the hill, and then he owns that little piece next to where the investigator's office used to be. That's our property, like in the middle of the two
He wants,
driveways.
he's got a fair price he wants, so.
He didn't talk about price. He said, I told him we'd be willing, we have to do a appraisal. We're gonna be limited what we can pay, but he said that he's absolutely ready to sell and he'd give us first option.
Yes.
So if y'all are interested in, letting us, you're not
Right
accepting,
in front of you.
hey, can you hold
No, we
for just a
don't.
second? You're not accepting to purchase the property. You're only giving us authority to get an appraisal
Appraise,
for
see what it
consideration.
says.
Yeah, see what it's worth.
I'll
see what
make a
he wants.
motion. If we need a motion, I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
But we gotta make a motion on that?
Yeah.
Motion by Mr. Scott, second by Mr. Butch, all in favor?
This is for, appraisal.
Praise on.
Appraisal only. It just means that we're intending to purchase the property if the appraisal comes back at fair and it's agreed upon. But before we paid for that, I needed to make sure y'all intended to purchase.
That'll work.
Okay.
Any more?
Nope.
Anybody else got any items? Okay. Meeting adjourned.